When was the first tour?
The first
like
tour.
U.S. or just like the first tour?
The first time you guys actually went out and did a few dates
2004.
outside of 2004.
Yeah.
And what was that like? The very first tour.
It was rough, because we never ventured out from, like
The
Florida
Carolinas,
and
probably.
Carolinas and stuff like that. So it was, we were scraping pennies to eat and scraping pennies for gas money. I had to put in my own I had saved money like from a job that I was working at, just to put in, towards this band to make it happen, and some of the other guys did too as well. And it was just extremely rough. As rough as you can imagine, like it was that.
Did you book your own tour? The first tour?
I booked, I know I booked like a couple tours. I booked the tour we did with the Classic Struggle. So yeah, at first it was kind of like that, and then I met like some DIY booking agent who didn't really do much at all, but he just got us some shows, and some shows got canceled, and it was really rough.
It's pretty
But,
standard when you're first starting out,
it's so like unorganized, but it
Some shows.
Sometimes you just gotta
and
do
then
it.
Some shows it's just like, wait a minute, there's no show tonight. Like where's the promoter at? And then you just drove like 8 hours for no show. You just lost like $300. You're like, okay guys,
yeah, our
you
main
guys ready to eat bread and
issues.
water tonight? Like,
Our main issues were van problems.
Oh, dude.
yeah.
We definitely always had van problems because we always had pieces of shit. We couldn't afford a nice van or anything like we can now.
Yeah.
So we would always be on the side of the road, like scraping up, money that we could from the guarantees. And
Yeah.
then once we got on Prosthetic, things were a little easier as far as touring and stuff like that. Because the van developed some hype, and it was all uphill from there. And we were just all really excited. Everyone was excited, and I don't know, it just worked out. Like Prosthetic helped a lot, aiding us getting, to that breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
On that first tour, did you ever think you were gonna die? Did you ever come across any near-death experiences on the first few tours?
The first few,
First few?
yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they had anything like before I was in the band, but the very first tour I did with this band, what were we like 4 days in? We weren't even on we'd just done like the first like actual date of like the tour. It was like us, Ion Dissonance, and Red Death, right? And we just played in St. Louis, and we were on our way to like Boulder, Colorado, or something like that.
I don't remember.
We were on our way somewhere like outside of Denver, and on our way, we're driving. And the night before, like we had a transmission like issue, like it ran out of fluid. So we threw some transmission fluid in it, and like it was running fine again. And we got on the road, and we knew we had a transmission leak. So we were like, all right, well, somebody's gonna need to probably put some more in sometime soon. It's hot as hell outside, probably like 95, like 100 degrees or something like that. The fuck you laughing at? And driving, and like I'm sleeping in the back. These guys are up in the front, and well, not these guys, that guy, and then the other three guys. And
It was probably in geometry class.
you probably went in geometry, probably algebra.
Probably listening to our CD.
Those are the
And someone's like, "Yo, dude, why is there smoke pouring through the vents? Pull over, dude. Pull over." And they pull over. Anthony, our old singer, gets out of the van and like kind of looks at it. Dude, the van's on fire, man. Get out of the
Oh
van."
shit!
Yeah.
We just like all get out, and the van is just fucking in flames. Like we lose like.
I grabbed the cash box immediately.
Yeah, Xbox. It was like flames are flying in. We're like just grabbing the shit that we had to get. I grabbed like my wallet, my
your porn
keys.
DVDs.
No,
Those all got lost,
burned.
actually.
All those got burned.
Those
up.
got burned in the fire.
Yeah, dude. Like
Oh.
Anthony.
Our old singer had so many.
He had a huge like just catalog of like probably like several hundred like DVDs and fucking CDs, lots
my
of
God.
porn, like all kinds of just ridiculous shit in there, and all of that stuff was gone. Like the whole front end of the van, the two like the driver's seat, the passenger seat, and then the two seats directly behind that. We had like an old conversion van, so it was like all like
It was black, dude. It was just
just done, like charred, like nothing existed anymore up there.
Didn't make it to the trailer though, so all of our gear was
Yeah,
gone.
we lucked out. Like the fire department showed up right as it was like on its way towards the trailer, and so they unhooked it, and then they towed it like a few miles down the road. We were literally out in the middle of nowhere. We ended up getting like this Amish community. This dude like had like an old like
Yeah, I called up Prosthetic right then. I was like,
yeah,
hey, our van's on fire. It's done. So we either get a new van or we try and go home.
Yeah.
And they
He
helped
helped
us
us
out getting a new van, and
That's
we made
cool.
it to the show that night.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we didn't have to cancel or anything. I mean, we were late, but we were like borrowing bands, hoodies.
Dude, seriously, we showed up and it was like we were like covered in like ash and stuff. Like we had like it was like we just came out of like a coal mine or something, and we just showed up like fuck this, fuck life, fuck everybody here. Let's get the fuck out of here. I want to go shower. And that was it. Like we played the show and
That's funny.
it was like a what would you call it? It was like a Indian reservation type town where there was like a lot of like literally middle fucking nowhere.
Like New Mexico.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We had to take like the old Route 666 to get to this like place out in the middle of nowhere.
There's a Route 666?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Old,
wow.
like they don't call it Route 666 anymore, obviously for probably religious purposes. But
Yeah, I would say so.
right. But they we got there and like the show was fucking sick and like we had to drive like what 10 to 12 hours to get to the next show the next day.
Yeah.
And everybody's fucking hammered because the show was awesome. It was like, all right, well, there's mad people wanting to buy alcohol for everybody, so it was like everybody's fucking drunk. You weren't drunk. I don't think you were drunk, but everybody else was drunk or high or something along those lines. And I'm driving and get like right to the Colorado line, and like 10 deer just bolt across the road. And I'm like, oh fuck! Like I gotta slam on the brakes, don't hit them. And then like another 10 minutes up the road, you start to see signs. Like signs for shit that I've never seen in my entire life. It's like it's got like flashing lights and stuff telling you that there's like wildlife in the area because there's like sensors and stuff in the area, like telling you like, yo, slow the fuck down. There's an elk that's about to run in front of you right now. And I drive for like another 5 miles or something like that, and this fucking asshole just dives out in front of me, hit him at like 60 miles an hour, and yeah, that was the front end. The front end was pretty much
gone.
fucked for like the next 2.5 weeks.
We like ran over it with a trailer, but like apparently Barry or Dad were like right behind us, like probably like 10 miles.
Yeah, 5-10 miles.
They rolled up to see if everything was okay, and there was no traces of the deer at all. Like there was no blood.
There was a lot of shit in our front end.
Yeah.
Like I literally hit the shit out of it. I hit it.
So
and
I
it was
had
just,
to
like,
get up and run
turd
away. Or
nuggets
something. I
just
don't
sitting
know.
in the grill and stuff.
I was gonna say, like, you could have ate the deer if, like,
Yeah,
the deer's
seriously.
fucking good.
Good,
man.
yeah, it's good deer meat, definitely.
But it didn't stick around, so.
Mm-mm.
So his shit was all over the front of the van?
Yeah, there was like literally like pieces of shit just sitting like in the grill area.
I had to actually take pictures of that for.
Do you have pictures with you?
I might have. Some
Oh,
of my-
dude,
I
this is...
think so, but
Yes.
for insurance purposes, like they make you take pictures to make sure there was a deer that just to
Uh-huh.
make sure. So I had to take pictures of that. It was interesting.
Dude, you gotta zoom in on the shit.
I got this picture right here.
You fucking asshole.
I just showed my cock.
Oh, yep. We can get that on camera, too.
We experienced our first earthquake yesterday.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Oh, yeah, how was that?
It was
Awesome.
interesting. Sitting in a Starbucks and then just tables fucking shaking. And
I didn't know what was
shit.
going on. I was like, wait a second.
The fuck?
And then I hear the girl in there like,
Oh my god, we're in an earthquake.
Like
and I was like, oh, what?
me and my drummer
Wanna
were
get
in
on the table?
like a shack, like on the beach, like
Uh-huh.
for spring break or whatever. So there's like 400 people on top of this, 2-floor wooden thing, and like when it started shaking, at first I thought there was just too many people, like just jumping up and down, screaming because everybody was drunk. But it kept fucking shaking, and like I thought I was gonna die. I thought it was gonna collapse. But then like there's just all these crazy like white drunk people like
Oh, my God. That is awesome. I was stoned, and I was just, like, sitting at my computer, and, like, all of a sudden, it's like, whoa, and then my head hit the desk. I'm like, what the fuck? And it was just like, oh, wait, there's an earthquake going on.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
There was a crazy night in Vegas, but
Tell me about the crazy night in Vegas.
that let's just say 10 dudes crammed in a bathroom on tour package. They're up to no good.
That sounded really gay, dude.
10 dudes and package in the same sentence.
in a bathroom in Las Vegas.
I don't know. Our merch guy got a ticket for pissing in public. Like we were.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah, like We just got back from just partying so hard in Vegas. It's 6 in the morning, and we're walking.
You
And
got,
we're
2
like
hours
literally
of
like
sleep.
a block away from this dude's house that we were staying at. And this dude's like, I'm gonna piss right now. I'm like, dude, don't. It's broad daylight. There's traffic everywhere. Don't. He's like, I'm gonna piss. So he pulls his dick out and starts pissing on the lawn. Literally 2 seconds later, woo! 2 cop cars pull by and like,
Oh man.
he could have gotten a ticket, or he could have gotten charged with like a sex offender or some shit like that. Like, luckily he didn't because the cop knew we were wasted, but it was pretty funny.
Do you guys ever meet anybody like super crazy famous? Like Oprah?
Just the other day,
Oprah would be
Lemmy
sweet.
from Motorhead was at
Lemmy and Ron Jeremy. Yeah, they were.
yeah.
What?
We
Lemmy
didn't
and
get-
Ron Jeremy?
Yeah.
We didn't get
What?
to meet them though.
I met Ben
sucked,
Stein
man.
once
Yeah, we
in
met Ben Stein
Buffalo,
once.
New York.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was just
Yeah.
like talking, and I was like, wait a second, clear eyes. So
I think the only famous person I've ever met was Rob Van Dam from ECW. He's not even fucking famous. So like, he's just a wrestler. That's about it, man.
I can't really think. I don't think we've met anybody like.
yeah, nothing
Oh, that-
cool
that-
happens
that,
to
famous.
us.
That
like-
horror movie convention that we had a
Oh
sign
yeah,
and
we
shit
met like
at.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
There was
We
like
met like the
Dude,
Texas
Captain-
Chainsaw Massacre and
Yeah, like
the
Captain
dude
Jason.
from Dusk Till Dawn, that guy that had like the revolver.
Yeah, revolver
cock
that
or
came out
whatever.
of his fucking his junk.
That's about it for me.
Who else? I can't really think off the top of my head. But yeah, Captain Spaulding. Fucking, I can't remember what his name is. To save my life from House of a Thousand Corpses. We met him.
Oh yeah, that dude, the really ugly guy.
She knows.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
yeah,
I mean, we've met like all
nothing
kinds
too
of
crazy.
like
Mhm.
band dudes like that are like to some people they're like fucking like gods in their eyes.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, that's
We don't care about
so
that.
and so. Like they're from the same like scene of music as us. We
Mhm.
Hey, that's Mitch from Suicide Silence.
like for some people, Randy from Lamb of God would be like, oh my god, it's Randy from Lamb of God. And it's
Mhm.
just like, yeah, that's Randy. Whatever, just a dude.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on the music scene? The way the music scene is right now. Do you like the bands that are coming out?
Said
Do you like?
earlier, it's a depression of musical creativity. It's
Mhm.
probably only going to get a lot worse.
There would be a lot of times where I would go on the internet and find really cool bands, like 1 out of 6, and now I can't even remember the last
It's like
time I've
1
done
out
that.
of 30 now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really hard.
There
to find
still
a
are good bands
band.
out there. Don't
Yeah,
get me wrong,
definitely.
but
And those are the bands that stick out and they really like they do their thing and like
Well, those
people
are
know who
bands
they
that
are.
stick out.
Yeah.
Most of them don't really stick out that much because they're not that popular. Like usually, it's like you have to dig really deep to find like a really good band.
Mhm.
And nobody like.
A lot
yeah,
of
we
it-
really
yeah, a
listen
lot
like a
of
really
it-
obscure, like underground, like stuff that we'll find, and it's it blows us away, but no one else cares.
Yeah.
Do you guys like Tony Danza?
I
Yeah.
love Tony
Yeah,
Danza.
absolutely.
They're
Yeah,
awesome.
they're a good band.
And MySpace actually, was the best worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first,
I
it
would
was
agree.
the best thing, and then a year or 2 years later, it became worse. And now it's just like.
Yeah, it
not-
used
not
to
even-
be.
You don't even get that many plays on MySpace anymore. It's crazy,
Yeah.
Like before, it used to be like 40,000 plays in a day. Now it's like 600.
And even with the labels,
Yeah.
it's like the labels used to, fly out to a show and see your band play and see how many kids are into it. And now it's like they just, they have 40,000 plays today. All right, we're gonna sign them.
Mhm.
It's not even about anything else anymore. It's like bands that don't even tour are getting signed, and like it's crazy.
Yeah, and you had mentioned that you guys had started really getting going right before MySpace really even.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
took
like
off.
the beginning of MySpace, and then
Yeah.
it was a website. It was hxcmp3.com. This was like 02,
Wait,
03.
MP3.com?
HXC.
Oh.
But MP3.com was like another thing
That was
we
like
were
old
on.
school, dude.
Yeah,
That was
we were
high
on that.
school for me.
The band that this band started from was actually on that too, and
Oh.
I've actually one of my really good friends. Like I met him through MP3.com. He was like,
Whoa.
"Hey, let's tour together," and like it's really one of my best friends. I met
Uh-huh.
him through that. But I don't know. It's definitely gotten way different.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, what makes a band stand out?
What makes a band stand out? Like, I don't know, just musical creativity.
Yeah, pretty
Bands,
much.
like a lot of bands don't really try to like write. I don't feel like they try to write good songs anymore. They try to write something that's like. They try to write something that's gonna be more so like something that's gonna put them like oh man, everybody's gonna think they're so heavy, and then
Mhm.
they're like cool for fucking like 6 months, and then after that, it's like,
Yeah.
like
It's like
I don't feel like anybody really tries to do that anymore.
Being-
Or at least
Yeah.
not in like the American like metal scene. Like
Mhm.
there are some bands that have it, and those are the bands that we're talking about that like they stand out. But as a whole, I mean, I don't know, man.
No
It's
one
like
really
being-
thinks outside the box anymore.
yeah, like
No.
being diverse and sticking with it. You know, like sticking with your sound and what you like want to do.
And-
Now it's just like, oh,
Let's just rip this band off. And
yeah,
let's
or
let's run
everybody's
with
starting to like how this sounds. Let's
just
add
go.
that.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
like the downfall of music,
Yeah.
you know, in my eyes. And it's like,
It's like there's a lot of bands out there that necessarily don't have to be like the craziest, most talented bands, but you could still say like, wow, that band's
That's
like
awesome.
Like,
Mhm.
like good examples like Comeback Kid. Like look at that.
Yeah.
Like, back in the day, like everybody loved them. Now where are they? You know, like I haven't heard anything.
They're actually
from
coming
them.
out with
they're
a new
doing
album.
yeah, they're actually doing
Oh,
a lot
really?
right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Funny you mentioned them.
I gotta check this out.
You were talking about like MySpace and like 2004. Do you think that bands now are more focused on like image rather than just wanting to create
Definitely.
music? 'Cause I
Image
find
and plays on.
Yeah.
There were like back in the day, I would hear bands were doing the play generators and stuff like that, just so labels would recognize them, and it worked.
Yeah, it's like
It's
your
so
profile
dumb.
has 50 views, but you have 407,000 plays. Like,
And you could totally tell. You would visit this band's MySpace. It's like,
Really
really?
fucking generic
No way.
as fuck. Like
yeah.
I wouldn't even go to this page. Yeah, not good.
It's funny because I find that the bands that really don't give a fuck are the bands that end up like really doing shit. You know?
Yeah, because they just want to do their thing. You know, it's not
Mhm.
about like
They're focusing more so probably on just writing good music,
Yeah, just-
as opposed to having 5 dudes that look a certain way and are gonna appeal to this certain audience of people. Like they have their hair swooped one specific way.
Yeah, it's like this is metal, not fucking Backstreet Boys or something.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it's turning into. Like,
Yeah,
it really
it's-
is like.
And then they get
It's
this
pretty fucking
manager, and like they're eating it up. Like
Mhm.
it's just, I don't know. People really don't do the math, and like you don't really understand what. You know.
maybe the scene's just getting a lot bigger and more recognizable to the rest of the world, and everybody's just getting jealous about it. You know, maybe
Mhm.
maybe it's that too. Maybe it's like it's getting as big as like rap and shit, where it's just like there's so many people doing the same thing, and the worst rappers are the ones that like end up getting the biggest. You know,
Yeah.
something like that. I don't know.
What about you guys? What do you guys want to do? What satisfies you all individually?
I personally just want to do good tours with really good bands that I admire, and then I'm happy and make
Mhm.
a decent amount of money off of it. Like I want to be rich. I just want to get by and have a good time with my life.
Yeah.
It's just
If I
like
could do that, I'm
perseverance. Like we've been through so much already, and getting through, like getting back, to put things where they were, and just going, above and beyond. Like what because we lost some members and stuff like that, and definitely getting the band on track and stuff like what we're doing right now. That's really what matters to me most.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we put a lot of work into this, and like it's so hard to just give it up.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
definitely. Like for myself, I mean, me personally, I just want to fucking write songs that, years down the road, I can be like, still satisfied with something that I wrote.
Mhm.
Like that's probably my biggest thing. It's like I hate listening to a song. I'm like, God, that fucking song sucks. I can't listen to that shit anymore.
Yeah.
That's my personal thing. And then basically touch on what he just said too. Like we've been through so much shit over the years. It's like I just want to prove to everybody, like, like, this is what's up. Like, we've still got this shit. Like, regardless of who may have come or who may have gone, like, we can continue to put out good records regardless of all the bullshit,